groups of our students were gathered socially distant, of course, for class, eating dinner, and believe it or not, some were even taking a yoga class. It is always good to be on the hilltop, even during an unprecedented pandemic. My name is Jim Flanagan. I'm the Senior Vice President and Chief Advancement Officer and a proud parent of a member of the class of 2023. It is my pleasure to welcome you to tonight's Alumni Town Hall with Dr. Favazza. The college is committed to keeping our alumni and friends engaged with St. Anselm by partnering with our centers, institutes, other departments on campus, and our alumni. We will continue to offer live stream masses from the Abbey Church, webinars, podcasts, and other opportunities to stay connected. We are so appreciative of the faculty, staff, alumni, and members of the monastery who have partnered with Advancement to offer programming over the past 6 months. Special thanks to Patrice Russell and our alumni relations team for pulling together this programming. I encourage you to contact Patrice or a member of her team if you have any suggestions for programming. Just a reminder, tonight's webinar is being recorded and will be posted on the college's website for those who couldn't make it live today. In the interest of time, we requested that all questions be submitted in advance, and Dr. Favazza will address those questions at the end of his remarks. Time permitting, we will also allow for participants to submit a question using the Q&A button on your screen. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Joseph A. Favazza, the 11th president of St. Anselm College. Dr. Favazza began his tenure as president in July of 2019, and while his first year on the Hilltop was less than ordinary, what a first year, Dr. Favazza works tirelessly to strengthen our Benedictine spirit and encourage our students to reach their fullest potential. Our community is so very blessed to have such a dedicated, kind, and insightful leader. It is my pleasure to turn the program over to Dr. Joseph A. Favazza.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us, and thank you for that kind introduction, Jim. Those are the kindest words you've said to me in so long. I'd like to just begin tonight by offering a moment of silence and prayer for those Anselmians who have been impacted by the wildfires in California, Oregon, and other parts of the Western U.S. Millions of acres have burned, devastating towns and blanketing communities in a very thick smoke. Our hearts go out to you and your families. Please know that your Anselmian community is with you and praying for you. We'll also remember those who continue to be impacted by the coronavirus and those who have lost loved ones and those on the front lines of care. So let's just take a moment and remember them to God. Amen. So I'm going to begin with a few remarks just to give you a little update of what's going on the Hilltop. And then as Jim indicated, we'll take some questions at the end and just make this kind of more free-flowing. So first of all, a return to the Hilltop and where are we with COVID? So after months of preparation, as you know, we opened the campus and students began to return on August the 7th. You may have seen some media coverage about the return since we were one of the very first colleges in the region to open. We even had the governor of New Hampshire visit us on one of our very first days to wish us good luck for the semester. As you can imagine, much has changed for this semester. We're wearing masks, we're social distancing, we've made changes to the physical campus, and we purchased a rapid testing machine that allows us to do our own corona testing. And we've set up a lab in Sullivan Arena. To begin this year, we brought back students in groups of 200 over a 10-day period so that we could do both a rapid test and a PCR test. The students were then quarantined, and we created essentially a bubble over the campus. During this move-in period, the Office of Alumni Relations partnered with Student Affairs, and we delivered pizzas and ice cream, and we had food trucks on campus to keep our campus, our students well fed and entertained. As you can imagine, it was a long period before classes began. It would be an understatement to say that we were excited to open, and we feel very good about what we have done and where we are. If you'd like more information or wish to follow our testing, there is a COVID-19 response page and a dashboard online, and you can see it there. We put it up there for you so you can kind of see where we are. Unfortunately, last week we had a bump in our positive COVID-19 test results, with 10 students testing positive. This week we had 3 additional students, but we remain confident that we are catching these positives early and we are containing the spread of the virus. Due to medical reasons, we can't share details about for the students, but we can share that the students who tested positive are part of more than one student affinity groups, which is a good thing because when we can kind of have a sense of how things began. Of course, in making our plans for the semester, we anticipated the appearance of COVID on campus. It would have been unrealistic to assume that we could eliminate this threat entirely. So we focused on mitigating the risk and containing the spread, and we're still focused on that. We remain fully confident in the plans that we made. Our positivity rate of 0.39% remains lower than state and national averages, and we are very fortunate to be a relatively small residential college, allowing us to be largely successful in placing the bubble over the community. And we're very fortunate to be in New Hampshire, where positivity rate has remained around 1%. At this same time, last week's numbers are concerning, and it's a reminder to us that no campus is invulnerable to this. And so we need to remain vigilant, and we are. Just an update, some of you might have seen that St. A's is once again listed in the U.S. News and World Report rankings as one of the top liberal arts colleges in the U.S. We landed this year at 102, which puts us far ahead of many of our peer institutions. We also scored high on their list of best value schools and top performers for social mobility. But of course, you as alums would know that, as you have been very successful since you were on the hilltop. We welcome the attention. I certainly know, I want people to know the St. Anselm story. We do not want to be the best kept secret in New England. We don't like that. We want to be well known. And this is one small way to get our message out there. An update about enrollment. I get a lot of questions, particularly from alums, about how we're doing with enrollment. The first year class is up 21 students over the fall of 2019, which in and of itself in this moment of COVID is quite amazing. Our final enrolled first year number is 530 students and an average GPA of 3.38. So very strong class, good number. We're very happy with that. The admission office has been hosting small campus tours on the hilltop since July 6th, while abiding by campus, local, and state guidelines to keep everyone safe on the tour. Look for an email in the near future to allow you as an alum to encourage a student to apply to St. A's, and if they mention that you have asked them to do so, we can waive their application fee. So we're really relying on our alums to help us identify students for a great St. A's education. A couple of updates on academics. This semester, as you can imagine, our faculty are teaching in a variety of pedagogical methods. They're teaching remotely, they're teaching hybrid classes, which are both remote and on ground, and they're teaching classes entirely in person. We have de-densified, that's a word I didn't even know existed before a couple of months ago, but we have de-densified classrooms so that social distancing protocols can be observed. And we are using pretty much every available space on campus to hold classes. Our favorite spot, the Alumni Quad, actually has 4 tents and 4 crop circles so that faculty can hold their classes outdoors. And there's a picture of Professor Broussard having a conversatio class recently out on the quad in one of the crop circles. We spent the summer getting classrooms ready. Cameras were installed, desks were removed, and faculty became experts at new technology. Everyone realizes this is really important work, and there's a great sense of cooperation among faculty, students, and staff. And you know, I just have to say I'm in awe of the work of our faculty, their preparation, and they are really stepped up in terms of making sure that even remote classes are of excellent quality and really engaging for our students. I'm really happy to report that our retention rate still is excellent at 88%, first to second year retention. And even with this pandemic, we have hit record highs with our 4-year and 6-year graduation rate. So some really strong indicators of quality that remain strong and are getting stronger on the Hilltop. A few words about what life is like on the Hilltop. We've reimagined all aspects of the Anselmian experience this semester. In fact, when you were on the Hilltop, can you imagine watching a movie on a huge blow-up screen on the quad or participate in a giant 32-team cornhole tournament? Our students are doing that right now. Programs and activities are offered both on ground and virtually so that all students can participate and continue to be engaged. Athletic teams continue to practice in small groups or in pods, and practice is probably too strong a word. It's probably they are meeting, they are conditioning, they are doing a number of things. And with student athletes and coaches, they are strictly following NCAA guidelines and protocols on the resocialization of athletics. The athletic department, in consultation with our conference, the Northeast 10, is currently working on plans for teams to return to competition, hopefully starting in January. And if we are successful in this, we will have an athletic conference just about every night of the week, because we'll be playing all of our sports, fall and spring, in pretty much one semester. So it'll be a busy semester, and we're really hopeful for the sake of our athletes that we can do this in the spring. The NHIOP is offering a full slate of opportunities for students and the community, from primary debates to polling. The staff is working very hard to connect with students and make their experience at St. Anselm as rich as ever. And we continue to have students, so many students who come who are so interested in politics and the Institute of Politics. A word about the Anselmian Network for Racial Justice. And this is really, really important work that we're doing this semester. Over 60 faculty, staff, and students have joined the Racial Justice Working Group. Faculty are discussing how our curriculum can better engage the issues of systemic racism in our society. And they've listed courses in the curriculum that students can find if they're interested in taking courses on this topic. And also, we've created several anti-racism dialogue groups which launch next week. There are great resources available on the web. I invite you to look at those. And we even have a parent discussion group for faculty and staff. Alumni who are seeking to hold a similar parenting discussion may contact alumni Cassie McHugh, class of 2008, who wants to start something with some alums. I'm very appreciative to the Racial Justice Network and to our entire community for ensuring that Anselmians honor our Catholic commitment to engage these issues. This is critically important to me, and we will continue to speak out and to make sure that we're addressing this issue with our students. A number of you have asked about the situation of our accreditation and the lawsuit that was filed last year. During the last alumni town hall, we continue to receive questions about this. And while I can't really go into a lot of detail on this, I can just tell you that we are making good progress, and we are hopeful about a positive outcome. We recently had a meeting, a visit from our accrediting body, NECHI, back in July. We had a really good visit with them, and we continue to make some progress, and we will have another visit with them in November to demonstrate how far we have come. So again, I can't share a lot of details, but I can tell you, keep the prayers coming, but we are making progress, that's for sure. I just want to give you a little update on some nuts and bolts about our finances and census and all those things, because in some ways it indicates the health of an institution. So this year total, we have 2,010 full-time students, which is a little bit higher than what we had budgeted for, which is a good thing. We have 1,796 resident students, which is a little lower than what we budgeted for, but certainly understandable in this age of COVID. We have more students than typical who are both true commuter students and also a number of students who are taking all of their classes remotely from home. So it's understandable that that number would be a little bit lower. We're in the process of pulling together what this means for our budget for this year. Recently, the state of New Hampshire announced that they were supporting private education, private colleges and universities in the state with grants to assist us as we reopen, and all of the expenses related to reopening to mitigate the spread of COVID. This has been a huge help to us, and we were able to receive a grant in the amount of $1.8 million. This grant is being used for our testing and contact tracing, and to plan for the isolation and care of those who who test positive. We also have used these funds to expand our fall semester remote learning infrastructure and to complete modifications to on-campus learning, such as social distancing, enhanced cleaning of our facilities, expansion of instruction times to permit smaller classes, and lecture capture technology. We've also spent some of this money for personal protective equipment, PPE, such as gloves, masks, hand sanitizers, plexiglass installation all over campus, and other health monitoring devices. So we are really happy that New Hampshire has stepped up to help us, and we will continue to seek the assistance of state and local foundations as we mitigate the spread of the virus here this semester. Our endowment at the end of the fiscal year stood at about $162 million. Of course, after what the stock market did today, I'm not sure where it is, but we'll see. It's a testament to our finance team, the investment committee of the Board of Trustees, college advancement, and our generous donors who supported endowed funds and scholarships during the previous capital campaign, which was incredibly successful. And I'm very, very appreciative of the support of so many alums. Even during a crisis, we are continuing with our strategic planning process. We must look ahead and plan for future generations of Anselmians. The Strategic Planning Committee, along with our consultants, Baker Consulting, has conducted a college-wide environmental scan where they identified essentially strengths and weaknesses, but also threats and opportunities for us as we move forward. I've appointed faculty and staff chairs across various campus departments to develop strategic plan pillars and high-level objectives. So stay tuned as we will begin soliciting additional feedback from alumni and parents over the next few months. We'll look forward to completing this collaborative process and creating a holistic roadmap for the future of St. Anselm in the next few months. So again, thank you in advance for your feedback as we make these plans. A few words about alumni events. The Office of Alumni Relations continues to plan creative ways for our alumni to engage with one another and the college. From virtual webinars to Come Friday forums to live streaming Mass from the Abbey Church, we believe there's something for everyone. So be sure to check your inbox for Anselmian Connections, a weekly program schedule. Last Friday, we celebrated the opening of the Vard Welcome Center with a beautiful outdoor ribbon cutting ceremony. This latest addition to campus was made possible by the generous support of alumnus and member of the class of 1971, Robert F. Savard, and his wife, Susan B. Savard. Of course, as you can see in the photo, we followed state guidelines and we live streamed the ceremony for those who were unable to join us on campus. If you missed it, we look forward to showcasing the building during an alumni event once it is safe to do so. So it was a really exciting event, and it is a beautiful building. It truly is the front porch where we will welcome future Anselmians and their families. On Friday, October 2nd and Saturday, October 3rd, the Office of Alumni Relations will host a home staying weekend to keep the spirit of homecoming weekend alive during this different fall semester. This weekend will also celebrate the halfway mark to the end of the semester. In fact, today was the beginning of the 6th week of classes, if you can believe it. So we are moving forward, and we will continue to move forward. Our hope is that this home staying weekend for alums will be fun-filled and will show gratitude for the students following the community care covenant and encourage them to continue their great work. Programming throughout the weekend will include movie nights on the college green, as well as food trucks, a 5K run, pumpkin decorating, CA bingo, and a cornhole tournament. So lots of activities for that weekend. And a word about fundraising. We've had many philanthropic efforts underway thanks to our generous alumni, parents, and friends. First, our fall fundraising efforts are in full swing with the annual fund. The main appeal that reaches mailboxes and inboxes at the end of the last week focuses donor awareness on current campus life as it relates to COVID-19 for our students. It also features the many ways in which donors can contribute to the college on a recurring basis through stocks and securities, or by speaking to one of the dedicated student workers in our student phonathon program. The athletics department and the Office of College Advancement have partnered for the Give a Mask, Get a Mask program, which is running through the months of September. And it has a goal of providing a mask to each of our 2,000 plus students. And at the same time, donors will receive a mask, and a gift mask will be given to students. And these are really nice masks, I can tell you. I gave some today to some students. They have our logo on them, and they're adjustable, and they're really comfortable. So it's a really great program, with a goal of providing, again, masks for all of our students. A total so far of 678 donors have contributed so far, providing 1,690. So we only have a few more to get. So we're almost there. 100% of the Give a Mask, Get a Mask program will be earmarked to the cause of your choice, including the Hawks So Higher Fund Athletic Fund, the Anselmian Student Relief Fund, the Eddie Thorne 34 Scholarship Fund for Racial Equity, or the St. Anselm Fund. There's still plenty of time to donate to the cause. And so I put that before you to consider. The college has applied to a National Endowment for the Humanities grant to secure funding for the construction of a building to house the Gregory J. Grapponi 04 Humanities Institute. And there are some drawings there of the building, some architectural drawings. We hope to raise between $1.75 to $2.5 million to supplement the grant and renovate the existing print shop behind Alumni Hall into the Institute. The building will house offices, a classroom, and seminar space to ensure that the humanities continue to flourish at the heart of a St. Anselm education. It's really important. So if you're interested in supporting this or any of our fundraising initiatives, contact the Office of College Advancement. They would love to speak to you. And so Many of you have asked what you can do to help your alma mater and your fellow Anselmians, and here are 3 simple ways where you could make a difference. And I want you to remember these words: help, hire, and hope, okay? So help us to recruit the next generation of Anselmians. If you have neighbors, friends, family with children in high school, spread the word about St. A's and share your experience on the hilltop. Again, I do not want to be the best kept secret in New England. Spread the word and help us recruit. Hire an Anselmian. As our world will heal from the pandemic, the economic future remains uncertain, particularly for our younger alums. Many students are looking for internships and full-time positions. Help your fellow Anselmians by sharing employment opportunities with our very talented students and new graduates. Please reach out to our Career Development Center if you're able to help. And then finally, hope for the future of St. A's. And by this, I mean encouraging all of our alums to make a gift of any size if you're able to do so. The need has never been greater in our 131-year history of the college. Now more than ever, students rely on scholarship aid to become and remain part of our Anselmian community and part of our commitment to continue to make an Anselmian education accessible to all of our students. So help us recruit, hire Anselmian, and hope for the future with a gift of any size. Difficult times reveal the importance of community, and I am so grateful for this Anselmian community that I have now become a part of. Guided by our Benedictine values, we have pivoted and we have made the fall semester possible for our students. I can assure you that all 21,000 plus alumni remain in the thoughts and prayers of the St. Anselm College faculty, staff, and monks. I thank you for your dedication to your alma mater, and I look forward to answering a few of your questions at this time. So that concludes my remarks, and so let's take a few questions at this point, and I'll let Jim be our moderator for the questions.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Favazza. That was a fantastic update. I'll give you an opportunity to have a drink of water. And maybe I'll even start off with a question that perhaps I can answer. Someone asked, what are the plans for the 2021 alumni reunion? God willing, and if we have a virus, we will be bringing together both the 2020 class reunion classes and the 2021 reunion classes. So it should be, I think Father Matthias said one heck of a celebration actually, and the plans are it would be June 4th, 5th, and 6th. So we have not sent out any information yet, but we are, advancement we're working with volunteers from both the reunion classes from last year as well as the reunion classes from this year to spread the word about reunion. So we're really looking forward to a fantastic weekend, God willing. So I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Dr. Favazza.
Yeah, I love the plans that are being made, and I encourage people to participate. We really are hopeful that we can move forward with this, but you know, we're also going to be flexible and be able to do what we can in this very uncertain time.
Great. The next question we had was related to the monastic community, and the person writes, you know, do you have any updates, any celebrations or anything from the monastic community? So
this past couple of weeks ago, the most recently joined monk, Brother Celestine, who was a member of the class of 2018 or 2019, one of those classes, made his simple profession as a junior monk, and that was really exciting, very moving actually. I was there, and then also in a few weeks, this coming week actually, the monastery is having what is known as their kind of 5-year visitation, which is with the Abbot General of the U.S., and he'll be here along with a couple of other monks, and that'll be that happens every 5 years to kind of check in with them. And then later in October, Brother Francis will be ordained a deacon, and that'll be a big celebration in the monastery as he's completing his seminary studies towards ordination. So a number of big things coming up for them, and we continue to work with the monks, and so happy to be a part of them, with them on the hilltop.
Great, thank you. The next question has to do with what are the plans for the graduation for the class of 2020? I know as member of your senior leadership team, we spent a lot of time and a lot of hours poring over this. So,
yeah, this is so challenging for us. You know, we would want nothing more than to provide a commencement for the class of 2020 that is exactly as what everyone would imagine it to be, out on the quad with our families, with all of the graduates, and being able to hand diplomas. Given the pandemic, that's difficult. And so we put a plan out there to hold a commencement on November 21st, but because of guidelines from the state of New Hampshire, it would only be for the class, and the families could not be in attendance. The feedback we got from the class was that they would prefer to wait to see if they could do something this coming summer. So that's what we are going to do. We listened to them. We're going to wait, and we're going to see what is possible this summer. I'll be frank, whether it'll be the traditional commencement or not remains to be a question. But at the very least, we want to bring the class back to campus so that they can celebrate this achievement with each other, and if we can, with their families. So that's our hope. We're committed to it, and we will continue to look at options going forward.
Great, thank you. The next question has to do with, person stated, thank you for your leadership during these most challenging times. Now that you've been president at St. Anselm for 14 months, what are some of your takeaways about the Anselmian community?
That many takeaways, I would say. One of the monks asked me recently about who would play me in the movie about my first year as president of St. Anselm, and I said, I don't know, but I don't think it's been quite a road, that is for sure. But I think I'm just amazed at the ability of people to their strength of commitment to the community. I mean, no one has shied away from the very hard work that all of us had in trying to reopen the campus. And people took on additional responsibilities. They took on 2 and 3 jobs. I mean, it was quite amazing. And there's just a sense that we want to be on the hilltop. We're going to do everything we can to reopen and give students the kind of experience, signature experience that we know is part of coming to St. Anselm. So I've just been struck by that and the level of commitment. And of course, I'm so fortunate to have such a great team around me. And, opening a campus during this pandemic is the work of a village. And I'm really, really fortunate to have a great team, great faculty, staff. So I've just been very, very happy to have landed here. And even though it's been challenging, there's not one day that I regret it. So I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you. I believe this is your, I think, 3rd town hall with alumni, and before, the events of last March, we traveled, we met with alumni across the country. I don't know how many people who are on this webinar are aware that Dr. Favazza last semester did weekly town halls with faculty and staff, and this semester, every other week, he has a town hall on Wednesday afternoons with faculty and staff, and then that same evening, every other Wednesday, he has a town hall with students. So the person asked, what are, in some of the town halls you have, what are on the minds of, I'll start with students first, and then what are on the minds of faculty? So let's start with students first.
When I do town halls with students, sometimes you never know what you're going to get. So, the questions that come in, and the last town hall I had with students, I think we counted up, there was something like 300 questions that we got. there's a lot of questions around trying to ask us to relax some of our policies, particularly intervisitation policies. Because of the pandemic, we've created bubbles within dorms so that part of a floor of a dorm they can visit, but they can't go to other floors and they can't go to other dorms. We're trying to contain the possibility of the spread, transmission of the virus, and so we know that's difficult, and we're trying to walk that thin line between keeping students safe, keeping up those practices while also giving them a really robust experience here on campus. So we're looking at that. But sometimes students will ask things like, well, who do you think is going to win the Celtics series? I know they're playing tonight even. So you get all kinds of questions with students. But overall, there's a strong sense with students that even with the limitations of being on campus, they would much prefer to be on campus than not. And so we are working hard to make sure that even with some of the policies that are in place, that they continue to have a really great experience. With faculty, as you can imagine, faculty have had to prepare for quite a bit for this semester. And again, I'm just in awe of their ability and their commitment to St. Anselm to do that. I think, of course, they have concerns about containing the virus and making sure that students are continuing to follow the protocols that we've laid out, the community care covenant, all of that. But overall, the spirit of the faculty has been good. There's a real sense of collaboration and knowing that this is a hard thing we're doing to reopen, and we're going to continue to do it, to stay open, and again, I think they're worried a little bit, but at the same time they know that this is what they want to do, and they want to help us to be successful this semester. So again, that's so again, faculty, students, we're all working together to carry this thing off, because it's quite a challenge.
Right. Yeah, for those of you who are not aware, Dr. Favazza is a huge, even though he's from Memphis, a huge New England sports fan, actually, particularly the Patriots. So I'm just going to ask the question: who is going to win Game 4 this evening?
Well, the Celtics have got to even up the series. Come on. So,
all right. Good. Yeah. Good to hear. The next question has to do with testing, and the person writes, some colleges have instituted a twice-a-week scheduled COVID testing policy. Students sign up for 2 set time slots every week. Would St. Anselm consider this option instead of the randomized method?
So our testing protocol is not solely a randomized approach. So, and we've worked very closely with the New Hampshire Department of Health and Human Services, as well as with our partners at Catholic Medical Center. The CEO of Catholic Medical, Dr. Joe Pepe, is an alum, and he's also on our board of trustees. He's been incredibly helpful to us as we have developed our testing approach. What we have done is surveillance testing, which includes testing many of our students who we consider at high risk. This includes athletes, this includes commuter students, some of our nursing students, and other students with underlying health issues. In addition, we have done randomized testing, and so we've made a commitment to do at least 400, but many times higher than that, 500 or more tests a week, which is about 20 to 25% of our population. This week, we have also are going after any student that has not been tested since move-in, because we feel like everyone has to be tested at this point, especially now that we've had a few positives. So we're going to do that. We're really committed to test aggressively, and we're very fortunate, as I mentioned, to have the rapid testing machine in our that allows us. We're able to do anywhere from 100 to 130 or so tests a day with that machine. And so we are, I'm so thankful to our health services staff, particularly Dr. Mara Marshall, who's our director, and also our athletic trainers who have been great partners with us in kind of doing all the testing. So that's our plan. Everyone thinks it's a good one, and we're going to continue to move forward with that.
Great, thank you. Our next question is from one of our Golden Anselmians who lives locally. He said he'd like to ask you when and how the barricades to campus entrances work. They seem to go up at the old main entrance and the exit on Saturday evenings, perhaps other times along with a checkpoint at the new main entrance. So that's the first part of the question, and then I'll ask you a second question he has about the bookstore.
Of course, if you're asking that question, does that mean you're trying to sneak on the campus? No. Yes, we have instituted checking students leaving and departing campus on Friday and Saturday evenings between 4 and midnight, and some weekends even later. Again, we want to just make sure that we message to students that we're trying to maintain the bubble on campus, and that means no guests, no visits from outside of campus, and it means limiting your trips off campus. And so we do have, actually we've asked some of our assistant athletic coaches to be the gatekeepers to help us with that, and they've been so generous to do that. And so again, look, you know St. A's, it's a very, if you want to be on the campus and get on campus by not going through the main gate, you can do that. So it's a porous campus, but we want, again, if we're just sending the message to students, look, think twice before you leave campus, and certainly don't invite guests onto campus. That's the point of the gate checks.
Great, thank you. And then his second question, that's a good question too, is can alumni or others go to the campus bookstore for logo items, or are all non-students not permitted to come onto campus at this time, actually?
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't invite visitors onto campus at this moment. Now, but I would strongly encourage you to shop online on our bookstore. You can do that and get something delivered to you. So it's possible to do that. But and then once students leave campus after November 20th, we'll reassess, and certainly if someone wants to come and purchase something at the bookstore, that may be possible.
Yeah, and even for this alum, and I feel free to reach out to me or reach out to Patrice, and we can help you get the item that you're interested in getting. And to Dr. Favazza's point too, even after November 20th, I know that our good friends in the Dana Center, they're going to be planning some socially distant events in the Dana Center. So people hopefully will be able to come onto campus the time that our students return home for the extended break. So, the last question, and then if you, at the end, Dr. Favazza, you want to say your farewell, but this is from old friend and longtime St. Anselm employee from the class of 2009, whose office was right down the hallway, although he was probably spent more time out and about campus doing social media, photos and so forth, and we miss him a great deal. So Corey True from the class of 2009, who said he signed off, big fan of apple glazed chicken, and you'll know why. He said, I made the whoopie pies with great success, and I'm patiently waiting for additional Davison secrets to be leaked. Is the college planning to share any additional recipes? Hint, the answer should be yes. The recipe for apple glazed chicken will be coming soon.
Oh. Well, that's great. That's good news. That's news to me, and I will certainly try to make that myself. So. That's great. Yeah, we've got, the food is still excellent on campus. Students are commenting about that. Yes, there's a reservation system so that students don't stand in line, but they do comment on the food and how good it continues to be even in this moment. So
great. And I'm looking at Patrice and Megan on the panel, but perhaps, Corey, to your point, maybe we can do some kind of a webinar with Richie or some of the other cooks from Davison, actually, so we can share the recipes that way. Patrice is giving me the evil eye right now. So before turning it back to Dr. Favazza for final comments, on behalf of the entire Alumni Relations and Advancement team, we just want to thank all of you for your continued support. We encourage you to continue to check in on our programming. And like I said at the beginning, if you have any suggestions for programming, for example, Patrice, like some live cooking demonstrations from Davison Hall, actually, please feel free to reach out to me, or preferably reach out to Patrice or Megan in Alumni Relations. So with that, I'll turn it back to our fearless leader, Dr. Favazza, for some closing comments.
Well, I won't belabor this, but I'll just say thank you again for joining us tonight. It's really important. One thing that came to mind after I answered the question about what I've been impressed with since I've come here, and I will say absolutely our alums, because there's a level of commitment that is fierce. And also, it's clear that the kind of experience you had on the Hilltop was so transformative that it continues to inform your lives, your decisions, and also your continued commitment to the Hilltop. So again, thank you for joining us tonight. I look forward to one day being able to greet you on campus, and I hope that we'll have an opportunity to see you next summer when things turn around. So again, good night. Thanks for being with us, and we'll talk to you soon.